Shorks. We're gonna watch about Shorks. And this is again by Casual Geographic. Why the world without sharks might be your biggest nightmare. Well, if we heard about, like, you know, dolphins being crazy bastards, let's learn about why sharks aren't. Yeah, let's get into it.
Remember when I said I'd show a cactus my uvula before I go out into the ocean? Yeah, it was a tough cactus. I went swimming with sharks to see them
Did bro just get booped by a shark?
in person and instead almost saw Steve Irwin. Shout out to the GOAT. That aside, I'm gonna make you like sharks in this video, but before things get better, first they gotta get worse. So thalassophobic's warning, here's
Is this shark
almost
just...
saw Steve Irwin.
Is
Shout out
this
to the
shark...
GOAT. That aside,
Bro, he's tickling the shark! Bro is tickling the shark! No, I want to tickle a shark. I can't swim though, so that's gonna suck.
I'm gonna make you like sharks in this video, but before things get better, first they gotta get worse. So thalassophobic's warning, here's the part where it hurts.
Yuck.
Honest question, has there ever been a horror movie about jellyfish? It's not like Poseidon didn't flush a metric ton of source material. You're looking at, unironically, one of the worst sights in nature. A jellyfish bloom. It's a problem for many reasons. One, it's basically a bath bomb.
Holy, that's a lot of jellyfish. That is a lot of jellyfish. Wow. Okay, that's a cute shark. Yeah, it is! Super cute! He's smiling! Is it just me, or do some sharks look like they're high? Some of them, like, you look at them, like, they look really derpy. That's just, like, they're really derpy.
From Shaitan, but also cause it's one of the last signs the ocean gives before it hits the point of no return. When a part of Neptune's neighborhood falls apart and can't support the animals in it, the last step usually involves getting gentrified by jellyfish, since the same conditions that are unlivable for most.
Also, the soundtrack in the background is also in Walking with Dinosaurs. That old-ass dinosaur documentary. I'm getting a dose of nostalgia here.
Most are usually where Satan's shopping bags thrive. And don't think because you're on land you're safe. Not only have these blooms caused legit power outs, but about half of the oxygen on Earth comes from the same phytoplankton these blooms eat. So why am I talking about jellyfish in a video that was supposed to be about sharks? Well, if you're scared of one, you should probably thank the other. Sharks are the ocean equalizer, keeping other animals in line from their spot at the top of the food web. Near the top. We're getting to that. It's basically sharks.
Rip. Rest in pieces. Oh my god.
Big fish that would eat the little fish that would eat the jellyfish polyps. The ocean is a Jenga tower, and sharks are the one block that can bring it all down. Now, it's not as simple as I just made it sound, where no sharks automatically means more ocean acne, but you really don't realize how fast the sea would fold without sharks. That is until you realize what their actual day looks like. Sharks aren't just the equalizer, they're the cleanup crew, mostly going around picking off the dead and dying. You won't see them chasing around small fry that probably aren't even worth it. The same way you probably wouldn't drive 45 minutes for a bag of chips. I hope. It's why, if you want to check your ego, swim in a shiver of sharks and watch how hard you get ignored like J-Lo in the Bronx. I was surrounded by Galapagos sharks, and the closest I got to becoming a hashtag was the ocean slamming me against the bars like I owed it something. It was like an MMA cage match with Mother Nature that got way too personal.
Fish are friend, no food. There's not a horror movie, but there was one guy who was interviewed on the 700 Club. If you know what that is, sounds familiar. Who recounted his experience of being stung by a jellyfish. Forgot his name though. I heard this is supposed to be really painful. Really painful.
I wonder why. But yeah, the sharks could not care less about me. They really do treat you like an NPC. I did learn that because sharks can detect electromagnetic fields, if you stick a GoPro deep enough, you can say you booped a shark. Just know, that was the most action I got all day. And if more people realized how often they get snubbed by sharks even when they're right under us, you'd realize why you're statistically more likely to get flattened by a vending machine, KO'd by a coconut, or even past tense while putting socks on, then get murked by a shark. It usually takes bad RNG or a surfer adopting the silhouette of a seal. But why are sharks so scary actually? It sounds easy, it's a prehistoric predatory steroid.
Ugh. Ugh. Ew. Ugh. What can he move his mouth like that? Yeah.
Guppy with permateeth, but honestly, I think it's deeper than
Nom.
that. Sharks, snakes, and spiders. These are the arguably 3 most feared animals on Earth, and it's likely because we're hardwired to be afraid of them. Snakes are legless, cold-blooded reptiles that even monkeys will throw stones at. On the other end, spiders have too many eyes, too many legs, and show up too many times in people's business to ever get good grades.
That is not. I stopped that in the right moment. I was already expecting that this would jump at me. Ha! You cannot read me. I read you. Who got a jump scare here? Spiders, like, ugh. I know that they're important because they get rid of a lot of other things that would be annoying, but it got me. Oh, great, amazing. But yeah, the spiders are important. Regardless of what you think of them, they are important.
Meanwhile, sharks might just represent the fear of the unknown. The ocean is an endless, uncaring void that could wipe you out in seconds with nothing you could do about it, and projection's a hell of a drug since that unsettling fear often gets put on the apex predators of that void. But that's a problem right there. You hear sharks and instantly think of another Jaws movie, so maybe you should see the sharks that don't make the big screen. This is a zebra shark. It's a cinnamon roll of a fish that is somehow less of a threat than the trauma donkey it's named after. The zebra shark is the beginning of sharks getting the sea dog allegation.
Bro, it's just so derpy. Sea dog. That's interesting.
And arguably the most dangerous thing about them is their front face. If nature wanted me to take the thresher shark seriously, they shouldn't have given them such an unserious pair of eyes. It does not matter what the situation is, threshers will always look like they really need an
Bro looks like the anime girl equivalent of a shark. What the hell are these eyes, man? That's so cute though. Look at those. Look at him. Look at his big eyes.
Adults. Now they do kill prey by delivering soul-evicting slaps with that tail, but look at him. He's just a baby. I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff about the salmon shark, but honestly all I can think of is that they're the baby Looney Tunes G-rated version of great whites. The epaulet is a shark with no regard for the laws of nature, using special fins to literally walk on land. And when sharks wake up with student loans, taxes, and only 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're pulling up. They're pulling up. This is like, this is no threat. This is cute. I'm gonna keep him.
Vacation, it's all gonna get traced back to him. This is a spinner shark, and even though it's hunting, I can't not laugh at how unserious this is. The nervous shark is literally named after how terrified they are of anything human. And whale sharks are unbelievably wholesome for a bus-sized fish with teeth in its eyes. Speaking of whale sharks, you got other plus-size filter feeders like the basking shark. They're about 30 feet long, the second biggest shark, and they're really only a threat to your mental health, especially since—
Yeah, I'm still not getting inside that. I am still not getting inside that. Hell no. Bro will kill me immediately.
a lot of plesiosaur panic can get traced back to a dead baskie. Then there's the megamouth shark, which honestly probably would be scary if you didn't know it's all—
That looks like a black hole. If you fall into that, you're gone.
Also a giant krill-eating pushover that lives in the forgotten corners of the ocean.
Hello.
Then you got the sharks you forget are sharks. Imagine you're at the shore and someone screams shark. Whole time they're pressed over a tasseled wabagong, a type of carpet shark that takes the name literally by living its life as a homicidal rug. Here you have the smallest shark in the world, the lantern shark. There's the sawfish that— oh, really? Okay, well, apparently it's not actually a shark, it's a ray related to a shark. But don't worry, because this is an actual saw shark, because you know the riddle. At this point, it's conducive. Two of the same traits, that's convergent evolution. And you can't forget nurse sharks being so unproblematic and curious around people. Scientists called it the Labrador of the sea. And I'm glad they—
The Labrador of the sea! That is amazing. Yeah, they don't care at all.
did, because now we get to go down the rabbit hole of sharks being dogs and cats at the same time. The poor beagle is a shark named after a porpoise and a beagle. Yeah, I don't get it either, but we'll get back to that. Dogfish were named after fishermen apparently watching them chase smaller prey in packs, like dogs. But some dogfish are also cat sharks, and they got their name from the vertical feline-coated eyes. Like the small spotted cat shark, is also at the same time called the lesser spotted dogfish. Google says there's over 150 species of cat sharks, including the chain cat shark, or chain dogfish, because of course, their biggest.
I cannot take these bros serious. They look all derpy. And I want the land shark. Thank you. If I see every one of these, I'm taking it home. I don't care.
Is they can glow green through biofluorescence. And they're not the only ones. It turns out over 50 species of sharks like kitefin and swell sharks can light up. That's about 10% of all sharks, and some actually use a light to hide. That might sound confusing, but if you're a predator in the crotch of the ocean, all you have to do is look up, and anything that looks like a shadow against the light of the sky is probably your next victim. However, if you can take a cue from a lightsaber, you can blend into the skylight and basically disappear. In fact, counter shading is a concept most sharks borrow from, and it basically means if you're above them, then the darker roof blends into the dark of the abyss, but if you're under them, the light underbelly matches the sunlight hitting.
Interesting, interesting. So you're pretty much like when it's dark, you will not be able to spot them whatsoever. You're shark food at this point.
In the water. And when you think about it, a lot of animals use this strat to avoid problems. But some take it a step further because scalloped hammerheads are scientifically proven to tan themselves if they sit in shallow sun-exposed water. Some say recruiting.
They're tanning themselves. They even sunbathe. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm gonna watch more of these videos, they're great!
Melanin is nature's way of keeping them from getting eaten by their own kind, by making it easier for the smaller babies to hide. We got a little off track, I won't apologize for it, but the point is, if you're still afraid of sharks, then maybe you should subvert your expectations. Especially since some sharks aren't even full-time predators. The bonnethead shark is like a hammerhead with performance anxiety. It's also an omnivore that eats seagrass, and in experiments, 60% of its diet included the green stuff. Whale sharks are also partly grass-fueled, and a study from Forbes found that half of what goes through them are plants like algae and sargassum. Okay, so maybe you're still afraid of sharks. Maybe it'd help if you knew what are sharks afraid of. There's only one thing that can send the Star of Jaws packing, and you already know it's orcas. Killer whales are known to mutilate great whites for their livers, and often that's
these bastards are crazy. Remember the video where there's this seal on like jumps on a boat, and then like orcas being around the boat waiting for the seal to jump in? With like the lady on there. If you have watched that, you should. It's amazing and terrifying at the same time.
All they take.
Holy.
The sharks have been so beaten down that Monterey-based scientists found that great whites off Farallon Islands will abandon their favorite hunting grounds for up to a year if they run into the assault cetacean once. Researchers have even started playing the sounds of orcas on loop to keep sharks away from beaches, and imagine minding your own business and a hairless iPhone monkey plays your ops anthem. And I wouldn't call it fear, but both dolphins and sea lions have been known to bully great whites by abusing the always superior power of friendship. Okay, now I just feel bad for them. Bull sharks are honestly the closest thing to the stereotype, and they have about the highest testosterone levels of any animal. Yeah, even more than a down bad elephant. And even the bull shark has fears, and its biggest are crocs. They often frequent the same waters, and the rageaholic of sharks gets a severe attitude adjustment just by smelling them. They've also gotten sent packing by hippos, but by far the strangest thing sharks are afraid of, yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Hippos just kill everything. They just pick a bone with quite literally anything. Everything and anything. What? Jesus. Yo, I need a video on hippos at this point.
There is a very real rabbit hole of the most notorious underwater predators getting pressed by some bubbles, with hammerheads and tiger sharks reportedly really uncomfortable with the bubbles from scuba tanks, and scientists even working on making.
So they're pretty much okay. So let me summarize this. They are pretty much just like the people who don't drink bubbly water. Interesting.
Bubble curtains to use as a type of bug spray, but for sharks. Which was funny until I realized dolphins probably just have them that messed up. If you want the definition of irony, it's spending 400 million plus years predator maxing just to get stressed by a SpongeBob scene transition. So play some orca opera and you'll keep sharks away, but the wrong playlist and you might just bring sharks to you. Sharks are attracted to heavy death metal music, because apparently the vibrations and beats sound just like struggling or injured fish. Remember, sharks are like the morgue of the sea, and dive operators like Matt
What the fuck was that?
as a Batman symbol to attracts sharks. Their favorites? According to him, AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long, and Back in Black are the best at getting their attention. So are certain colors, because for a while it was widely believed.
Is he shitting me? Is music actually, like metal and stuff, actually attracting sharks? What? They like me for real?
That the single worst color to wear if you're afraid of sharks is yellow. Matter of fact, it was nicknamed Yum Yum Yellow for how wearing it could turn you into a literal snack. The truth is, sharks are likely colorblind with only one color cone in their eye to R3, meaning they see the world in black, white, and shades of gray. Now what they can see is contrast, and anything that stands out against the ocean blue immediately gets their attention. The more you know. Now let me ask you a question. You think sharks get silly?
Imagine being scared of the color yellow. Just imagine. Just imagine. So they're like, so pretty much just dress yourself completely yellow, you should be safe.
Like, you think in 400 million years of being alive, they figured out how to have fun? Well, remember the poor beagle? Scientists peeped that the shark named after a dog will roll around in kelp, tossing around like a football, and even—
Did you just jump scare the diver? These guys are also pranksters. Bro, jump scared the diver.
take turns chasing each other. Gray reef sharks sink if they don't swim, so they'll often swim against current updrafts in order to surf and basically take a break from the whole just keep swimming thing. But what's crazy is they have a conveyor belt system where once one shark reaches the end of the line, it'll let the current carry it back to where it started. You could say it's just them saving energy, but is that not the same energy as this? Sharks have been fighting stereotypes like a boxing match for years, and the closest thing to an uppercut they got is the fact that sharks have friends. In 2023, researchers found that two great whites, Simon and Jekyll, had traveled more than 4,000 miles together after being first tagged off the coast of Georgia in 2022, eventually ending up in the Gulf of St. Lawrence just off New Brunswick, Canada. It shows you how little we know about them, because a couple years ago, nobody would believe the final boss of sharks was down for a travel buddy. Shark scientist Yannis Papastamachiou linked up with researchers from the University of Hawaii, Exeter, and UC.
Damn. Sharks can have friends. That's a new one. But it's just two being watched, so careful. Maybe they don't have friends.
Santa Barbara to study reef sharks in the Palmyra Atoll to uncover the secret social circle of sharks. What they found was that these sharks have a literal social circle, with the same sharks hanging out together in the morning, separating and going about their business during the day, only to meet up again later. These shark groups even use the same part of the reef day after day like a high school lunch table, and these friend groups lasted the entire 4-year study. And it's not just reef sharks. By night, nurse sharks hunt alone, but during the day, they join cuddle parties of up to 40 in order to save energy. It must work, because white tips also power nap as a stack pack. Sand tigers are like sea coyotes, where they're fusion fishing. They have a close network of sharks they associate with, and even sharks don't meet.
So basically, if you don't have friends, even sharks are beating you in life. Yeah, sharks are beating me in life. Think about that.
Meet up with multiple times a year. Scientists now believe that if a shark has their version of a best friend, it's usually someone that's roughly the same size, the same sex, and about the same age, which would explain Simon and Jekyll. But now the real question is, can sharks form bonds with people?
They have fucking best buddies! What? That is crazy. They pretty much just like, you are like me! You are like me! Let's be friends! Man, that is insane.
And the answer, like everything else, is complicated. Lemon sharks are not only famous for having favorite divers, but for getting jealous and overprotective when they see that diver around others. If a nurse shark is a Labrador, the lemon shark's a golden retriever with gills. Here's my thing now, sharks will form partnerships with other fish like remoras and pilotfish where they'll pick parasites off the shark, so this could just be a lemon guppy treating a person like any other cleaning service. Funny thing about pilotfish, sailors who saw them would swear they and sharks would act like close friends, and there's even stories of pilotfish chasing ships for weeks after they caught one of their sharks, apparently seeming distressed and anxious without him. And you probably wouldn't believe that if something like that didn't happen with a person. In 2001, shark conservationist Jim Abernathy removed a hook from the mouth of a tiger shark named Emma. 20 years and several more hooks later, and Jim and Emma might as well be a married couple, with Emma still recognizing and rushing up to Jim even after up to a year apart. And we're not talking about nurse or lemon sharks, that's a 14-foot garbage disposal with the personality of a lapdog. We don't know for sure if sharks can feel affection like.
That is so cute! That is so cute! No! Oh no, that is so cute! Oh my god. I'm flabbergasted. This is so cute.
Like one, but it honestly wouldn't be a surprise, since sharks are intelligent enough to be trained like dogs. Eugenie Clark was an ichthyologist nicknamed Shark Lady, who taught lemon sharks how to push a target and ring a bell for food, and they even learned how to tell apart different shapes and colors. Some aquariums in the UK train sharks to roll over and respond to signals and commands the same way Pavlov conditioned dogs. And gray bamboo sharks also figured out how to tell apart different shapes, even when researchers tried tripping them up with
They are training sharks like dolphins! Wow, that is cool. Actually, that's actually really cool. I didn't know that. That is really cool.
optical illusions. And even after 50 weeks, they still remembered their training. But really shouldn't be a surprise. Sharks were around back when Saturn was bumping Beyonce and praying on a ring. Sharks are no dummies. You gotta respect that. They might be the biggest flex nature ever made. Sharks can...
So if you want a partner, take stuff out of someone's mouth. I don't think humans work that well. I don't think humans, though, that works on humans.
can literally track your heartbeat through electroreception. They have a built-in GPS. They have replaceable fluoride-coated teeth that can't get cavities. Some, like the Greenland shark, can live for a legit 100.
Mother Nature, you piece of shit. Why don't we have that? Why don't we have like regrowing teeth and teeth that can get no cavities? What is that? Why don't we have that? Asking the important questions here.
Hundreds of years.
You know how scared I am to go to the fucking dentist? Leave me alone. Just let my teeth regrow. Thank you.
Find sharks at the very bottom of the ocean, under an active volcano, and even swimming in River Thames. And I honestly don't know what to be more impressed by. Really, the only weakness sharks have is they can be put in a trance-like paralysis just by getting rotated.
I'm gonna bite you, no rotation. I need to go back. I need to go back. I need to go back.
Really, the only weakness sharks have is they can be put in a trance-like paralysis just by getting rotated.
Wow. Wow. Bro got rotated. I mean, we do have baby teeth when we are young, so we do. Just not so many. I mean, like always regrow, right? Not just like fall out and like then the big teeth come and then they fall out and then nothing happens anymore. Let me regrow them.
The tonic immobility is usually triggered by pressing down on the snout, but sharks can induce it in some painfully awkward situations. Humans usually only put sharks on standby to study and tag them. Meanwhile, orcas do it to steal their organs like a black market merchant. But this time, I'm not going to call them an oppressive Oreo, because we do something way worse. Shark finning is the practice of cutting off the fins and tossing the now mutilated shark back into the sea, where their only option is to slowly drown or bleed to death. Depending on the shark, that can take an excruciating 2 hours. And this is a fate that follows.
Wow, okay. They're hurting these poor guys.
Not hundreds, but up to 100 million sharks a year.
Huh?
For something Gordon Ramsay called mid. At the end of the day, we gaslit sharks like no animal has ever seen. We put up every World War combined numbers on them every trip around the sun. Meanwhile, sharks might get 10 on a good year. In fact, you can argue that for all the shark slander, humans have the highest KD ratio against them. No other wild animal gets done this dirty. Moral of the story? You know it's bad when the author of Jaws, Peter Benchley, would go on to regret writing it and dedicate the rest of his life to shark conservation. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'm gonna be posting the full GoPro footage of me.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, sharks getting a bad rap, it seems.
Swimming with sharks, nothing too crazy. But other than that, make sure you drink water, hug your mother, R.I.P. Peter Benchley, R.I.P. Eugenie, and yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
So yeah, that was the full video on why the world might be our biggest nightmare without sharks. Yeah, sharks are getting a bad rap, clearly. I didn't know that they were pretty much like little some of them were like puppy level. That's interesting. And they look so derpy. Look at him. Look at him. He looks so derpy. But yeah, nice video. Really nice.